Um, so we're going to look at the 15th of Av, which is today, right now, and we believe it's the Sabbath, that the Sabbath is always on the 8th, 15th, 22nd, or 28th, right? No, 20, sorry. Um,
22nd, 29.
yeah, we'll put the right calendar on the screen or something. Um, I don't know, we're gonna go into the calendar later, so that's why I made me think of it. But anyways, some things that happened on the 9th of Ab, the dancing maidens of Jerusalem said, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, there were no greater festivals for Israel than the 15th of Ab and Yom Kippur. On these days, the daughters of Jerusalem would go out and dance in the vineyards, and what would they say? Young man, raise your eyes and see what you select for yourself. Talmud goes on to list several joyous events which occurred on the 15th day of the month of Av. The dying of the generation of Exodus ceased. Several months after people of Israel were freed from Egyptian slavery, the incident of the spies demonstrated their unpreparedness for the task of conquering the land of Canaan and developing it as the Holy Land. God decreed that the entire generation would die out in the desert and their children would enter the land in their stead, as recounted in Numbers 13 and 14. After 40 years of wandering through the wilderness, the dying finally ended, and a new generation of Jews stood ready to enter the Holy Land. It was the 15th of Av of the year 2487 from creation, 1274 BCE. As long as members of this doomed generation were still alive, God didn't communicate with Moses in an affectionate manner. As soon as the last of these men died, once again, God lovingly communicated with Moses.
Is that accurate? There weren't any left whatsoever? Oh,
I,
I'll have to go look that up.
yeah, I,
I feel like I've heard before that there were. Yeah, I'll have to go look at the scriptures because I don't know. I could be wrong, but it felt like I saw someone like do
Numbers
something.
13 and 14, we can look at it if you want to in a minute.
Yep.
Do you want to go? If I start going over to it, it's going to start skipping.
Yeah, I can go try to find it while you're.
You want to pull it up? Yeah. The tribes of Israel were permitted to intermarry in order to ensure the orderly division of the Holy Land between the 12 tribes of Israel. Restriction had been placed on marriages between members of two different tribes. A woman who had inherited tribal land from her father was forbidden to marry out of her tribe, lest her children, members of their father's tribe, cause the transfer of land from one tribe to another by inheriting her estate, as recounted in Numbers 36. This ordinance was binding on the generation that conquered and settled the Holy Land. When the restriction was lifted on the 15th of Av, the event was considered a cause for celebration and festivity. So, what was that? You want to put Numbers 30 on the list too? Or Numbers 36, sorry.
Yes, let me. Yep. It was
Um,
13 and 14, and then. Right?
13, 14, yep, and 36. So the tribe of Benjamin was permitted to re-enter the community. On this date, the tribe of Benjamin, which had been excommunicated for its behavior in the incident of the concubine at Gibeah, was readmitted into the community of Israel as related in Judges 19 through 21. This occurred during the judgeship of Othniel ben Kenaz, who was led the people of Israel in the years 2533 to 2573 from creation. 1228 to 1188 BCE. Hoshea ben Allah opened the roads to Jerusalem. Upon the division of the Holy Land into 2 kingdoms, following the death of King Solomon in the year 2964 from creation, 797 BCE, Jeroboam ben Nebat, ruler of breakaway northern kingdom of Israel, set up roadblocks to prevent his citizens from making the thrice yearly pilgrimage to the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, capital of the southern kingdom of Judah. These were finally removed more than 200 years later by Hoshea ben Elah, the last king of the northern kingdom, on Ab 15, 574 BCE. The dead of Batar were allowed to be buried. The fortress of Batar was the last holdout of the Bar Kochba rebellion when Batar fell on Ab 9, 133 CE. Bar Kochba and many thousands of Jews were killed. The Romans massacred the survivors of the battle with great cruelty and would not even allow the Jews, why did I say that? The Jews to bury their dead. When the dead of Batar were finally brought to burial on Ab 15, 3908, which is 148 CE, an additional blessing, Katav, I'm not even going to try to say that, was added to the grace after meals in commemoration. Is this something that we looked at for the 9th of Av already?
In 133, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel like that's... Alright. The day of the breaking of the axe. When the Holy Temple stood in Jerusalem, the annual cutting of firewood for the altar was concluded on the 15th of Av. The event was celebrated with feasting and rejoicing, as is the custom upon the conclusion of a holy endeavor, and included a ceremonial breaking of the axes, which gave the day its name. The day of the breaking of the axe. Okay, that's new. So this is the part that I thought was really interesting. The 15th of Av, love and rebirth. The 15th of Av is most mysterious day. A search of a Solchan Aruch code of Jewish law reveals no observances or customs for the state except for the instruction that the confessions of sins and similar portions should be omitted from the daily prayers, as is the case with all festive dates, and that one should increase one's study of Torah, since the nights are beginning to grow longer and the night was created for study. The Talmud tells us that many years ago, the daughters of Jerusalem would go dance in the vineyard on the 15th of Av, and whoever did not have a wife would go there to find himself a bride. And the Talmud considers this the greatest festival of the year, with Yom Kippur a close second. As the full moon of the month of Av is the festival of the future redemption, marking the end of the tragedy that marred the first part of the month. Until this day, we held a daily Siyum broadcast and gave charity each day to mitigate our sadness and hasten the redemption. But on the 15th of Av, this is no longer 45 days before Rosh Hashanah. This is also the first day on which we begin to wish each other a New Year greeting to be signed and sealed for a good year. Sorry, I'm just seeing if there's anything else that's like interesting. This one here, where it says that the maidens would meet in the they would wear white dresses.
Yeah. So none
the other
would
one
know who
said
was
they
rich or
would meet
poor.
in the vineyard. I was trying to find one where it said they would meet in the vineyard with white dresses. I know I had one before.
That was the last one, wasn't it? Didn't they say that?
It says that they're in the vineyard, but it doesn't say that they were wearing the white dresses.
Oh.
But I know that when we were looking for articles on this before, that we had one that said both. But anyways.
Yeah.